Good morning to you all. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope all is well, and I hope everybody is doing fantastic. These are the cards that came out this morning. Sometimes I get cards multiple times, but I really did like what I wrote down on my Instagram for an inspirational message for I am the dreamer of my dream. Let's see if I can remember what I wrote down. To remember that you are the one in control of the dream, that you are the dreamer of the dream, to recognize the actions that are required to move forward for yourself and for others, to realize that, and I'm completely forgetting what I wrote down. I really just need to write these down on paper. But anyway, that you are the sailor of your seas, whether it is through rough waters or smooth, or when you are in the calm waters. Take that, how that resonates, and all of a sudden I can't seem to speak. So, I don't know, maybe it's just that sometimes I have to remind myself that it's not about controlling my life, but it's in the same sense reminding myself to remember that I am the dreamer. And maybe this will give people some hope, or that maybe you can resonate with it, or you feel the same, or just to kind of make a connection to, I don't know. I didn't do a video yesterday. Of course, I'm not 100% sure I want to do daily vids, but just kind of felt like I should have done one yesterday, but I didn't. So I'm doing one today, and I feel like I'm all over the board right now. I feel like I'm just kind of going from one emotion to the other, and I am a Pisces. My Pisces, or my sun is Pisces, and my moon is Sagittarius. So I am water and fire mixed together, which sometimes can create steam, not only for myself, but for others as well, and not in a mean way, but just in a very blunt and reactive way, I guess, sometimes. And I have learned over the years to try to not be so reactive in an instant if I become upset about something. If I feel that it is, and I do believe I have Libra in my chart as well, I do feel like if somebody is, like an injustice has happened, whether it's towards myself or whether it's towards somebody else, I always have to step in and say something. And sometimes that gets me in a lot of trouble with people, or people just don't like me because of it. And sometimes I put my foot in my mouth when it comes to that. And I am a big dreamer. I like to be in my element, water, very much so. Sometimes I can get caught up in that too much, and I have to bring myself back down and to equal that, or, to have a better balance of the two, between dreaming and reality and logical thinking and analyzing. So finding that balance between the two, or the three, has been a struggle in my life. For most of my life, but I realized that it was a process, that I had to learn how to balance that, and when the time was appropriate for me to say something, or to mix the two between water and fire to create the steam, when I felt like something was unjust. And I usually don't like to be confrontational. I would rather love and be loved than to be the bearer of bad news and be hated for it. But I definitely have had times throughout my life where people just didn't like what I had to say. And I wasn't mean about it. I just kind of had a different perspective on things. And I said it without thinking about it first and reacting to situations that maybe I shouldn't have reacted to. But then there are other times where I was too nonchalant about stuff and too laid back and too not speaking my mind when it was appropriate. So I guess my point is that I've tried finding the balance between it all. I'm not perfect at it by any means. I'm still learning as well. Sometimes I still do react instantly to certain situations. I do try to stop and think before I speak, but that fire inside of me sometimes just blurts it out. But I guess the point also is that being the dreamer of your dream, you are in control of how and what you say, how you go about things. I'm not saying don't stick up for yourself. Believe me, I am someone who, if I feel someone has been wronged or if I have been wronged or whatever, I usually will stick up for the other person and speak my mind very clearly and very bluntly. I try to pick and choose my battles for sure, because it does exhaust me sometimes to be able to do that all the time. I have to rest a lot. I have to recuperate my energy quite a bit. But I'm finding different ways to be able to do that a little faster, so that's great. I'm loving learning these new concepts, and they're not new concepts. They've been around for a long time, but new for me in the sense that I've finally let go of the fear of some of these things, and allowed myself to enjoy the curiosity of what I have desired to learn most of my life, but then I was just too much filled with fear on it because of my raising, and I had to let go of a lot of that. Not all of it, because there was some good nuggets throughout my childhood, and there were some good nuggets through my teenage years and young adulthood, but just trying to pick the things that resonate with me, that I've always been curious about, that I've always been wanting to do, but just was, held myself back because of the illusions around, let's just pick one, tarot or, meditation, or, and they're not bad things by any means. It's just the fear that had been built up around those growing up that I just stopped myself dead in my tracks anytime I thought about being curious about it. And then just over the last 8 years, trying to resolve those fears, trying to, why have I always been curious about this? Why have I always had a pulling towards it? Why have I always been drawn to it? And just kind of figuring out that they are not bad things. They're just ways and tools to help grow yourself, and if you desire to help someone else to grow and to learn, not that you need cards to be able to do that. You can pretty much do that on your own as well. But just to kind of, with this one here, I recognize that I have chosen fear, and I choose love, which is a good message that, a lot of us have sometimes fears we need to overcome, or to recognize, okay, I've lived most of my life in fear. I'm tired of it, and I want to move on from it, and that I choose love, and that anything that creates fear for myself, to either really dive deep into it, or not to choose to be in that fear, to switch the perspective and to choose to be in love, instead of dwelling on that fear and the anxiety that comes up with it. And believe me, I've dealt with a lot of that. And I giggle about it because it really was illusions, whether they were coming from outside sources or whether the illusions that I had built up within my own mind about certain things. And I'm probably just really rambling. I do apologize. I feel like I've been not in my right element this last week. A lot of stuff going on, just in my own personal life. And then, of course, with all this stuff going on in the world, and it's just sometimes overwhelming. And realizing, okay, what's going on here? What am I feeling? Is this my energy? Is this something else going on? And I know I'm just rambling. I do apologize, but maybe somebody can relate to this. Just up and down all week. 1 minute I feel great. Next minute I feel down, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And just trying to sort out, I guess, the different emotions and things that are going on, and just trying to figure out, okay, what's really how I really feel. And I know I completely did not say that right. And maybe it, goes with the I surrendered to a power greater than me. And not that I have a problem with that card, but something about it bothers me a little. I surrendered to a power greater than me. Maybe I'm not thinking about it in a positive light on that. And yes, I understand it. It's, surrendering over to that greater power. But I don't feel that it's on the outside of us. I feel it's in the inside of us, so that it is still a part of who we are. And that we're not really surrendering to an outside source of a greater power, but a greater power within ourselves. And maybe that's what that card means. But for some reason, that one bothers me a little bit. I don't know why, other than maybe I'm not seeing it from a couple different angles. And maybe what I just spoke was what it meant. I'm not sure. These cards are just, it's The Universe Has Your Back by Gabriel, there we go, Bernstein, which I do pick from this deck quite a bit. I do shuffle them. I do put my intention to be able to, I asked, what anybody who who listens to these videos or are on my Instagram or Facebook, what messages they need to hear, and then I shuffle them and let them fall out randomly. So these are the cards that fell out. And then I kind of just go with the flow of what the cards are saying. But for some reason, I surrendered to a power greater than me was bothering me. Maybe it does tie in very well with I recognize I have chosen fear, and I choose again. I choose love, and I am the dreamer of my dream. It probably does go well with each other. But I don't know. I've just been rambling. And like I said, I just kind of feel really off this week. Struggling with my own issues and struggling with my own emotions and the highs and the lows throughout the whole week. And I hope that everybody is doing well, and that Oh, I don't even know. I just hope everybody's doing well. Oh my gosh. I need not post this video, but maybe someone can relate. Let me know in the comments. Maybe there's some nuggets in here. You can pick and choose what you want to hear out of this message. I know I'm kind of scatterbrained at the moment and all over the place, but I hope that you can find something within this message that you can relate to, or, might give you hope. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, just because I've had a week of highs and lows doesn't mean that it won't straighten out or I won't figure it out. I don't want to sound like I'm being humdrum all the time. It's not all bad. Maybe there's certain aspects of my life that I do need to work through. And that maybe that's just why that I'm all over the board this week. But I know things will straighten out. I do have hope in that. I do have hope that there will be light at the end. There is light at the end of the tunnel, or that light can be shown onto some of the issues that are going on, whether in my own life or in the world today. But I hope everybody can find their joy and to cling on to that joy and have faith that things will work out for the betterment of all humanity. And that my intention is to send out love and light and peace, and hopefully we can all be in harmony with one another. And until next time, have a great day. Let me know if anything resonated with you. Maybe somebody else is going through the same thing, that maybe we can connect and help each other out and lift each other up. And not that I really need to be lifted up. I don't know. Like I said, I'm still hopeful. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Feeling the scatteredness. Sometimes we need to go through the scatteredness to figure out our way out, or our way through. So I do speak love, light, peace, and harmony to all of humanity and anybody who watches this video. Until next time, and have a great day. Namaste.